beautiful.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and...
Great White Sharks.
Okay, I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Erica.
Maria.
That was great. And when you say your name like normal, ooh, it does something for me. It does. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil. We talk about sex. We suck at podcasting. And this week... that's super enticing. This week, we are doing the book... Is it called Shark Heart?
Shark Heart by Emily Habeck.
A love story.
I don't think a love story is part of it.
What's her name?
Emily Habeck.
Emily Habeck. Erica?
BookTube.
Oh, really?
No.
Erica heard about it.
It is on BookTube.
But I was like, I heard
it.
about it on BookTube.
But I saw it. No, somebody, it might have been TikTok-y days. I saw somebody talk about
She's
it.
off of it now.
Oh, I am off TikTok.
You've been off TikTok.
I've been off TikTok.
During the
so
election,
happy
you got
for you.
off?
I downloaded it for one day, for maybe like 3 hours right after Trump won. And I did a couple scrolls and then I was like, you know what?
I realized how shitty it was there and you said, never mind.
I'm out.
Nobody's even saying anything that's like worth like hearing.
Like
it's all the
usual?
same shit. And I was like
usual.
Well, no, I was like, I have better takes than this. Like, move on. You know what I mean? Like, I was just, it wasn't entertaining.
It's
so
Shark Heart, a love story. No, it doesn't say a love story.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
But it's not part of the title. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's part of the title.
That's fair.
Anyways,
okay. Shark Heart.
Saw people talk about how like it made them sob.
Really?
Like it was just so like as SOB. It made them sob, it made them cry, it made them super emotional. And it's in essence, basically a book that's like, if I were a worm, would you still love me?
Yeah,
Like it's
that's
like
exactly what I was
expanded
thinking,
upon
yeah.
that like kind of inside joke on the internet.
Have you seen Sweet Tooth, the show?
No.
Sweet Tooth? No?
Why do I feel like I've heard of
It's the one with the kid has like deer antlers on Netflix.
I remember the promos back when it was first coming out, but I've never watched it.
A lot of people were like, I watched the first episode, I couldn't get into it. Mike and I loved it. I watched the whole show. The show's done. It has an ending, which is really nice when a show has an ending.
I've never heard of it.
But basically, it's like you're in a world where there's a thing called the sick, essentially the pandemic, and there's these people that are being born that are hybrids, and they're like part animal, part kid, and you know the extremists are trying to like get rid of all of these animals and like kill them off because they think that they're abominations, because now anytime somebody has birth, it's like a whole thing. But it really reminded me of that world, because this book is set in a world where people could become animals, essentially.
Yeah. It was such a weird book. It was one of the weirdest books I've ever read. I listened to it on audio.
Me too.
It was one of the weirdest books I've ever read, but it like left so much to the imagination for like it didn't over explain things.
Did you should we talk at the top before we go into like a 60-second deep dive? Should we say if we liked it or not?
Sure.
I loved it.
This is going to be weird because I loved it too.
Yeah, no, she put a 5 stars. I haven't
gave
rated it.
4.5. Did you like it?
I haven't rated it. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it was fine as I read it. There were moments of I was like, oh, that's sweet. But it didn't like rock my world that much. So to me, I think it's like a 3.
Okay, that's fair. I think we all have different perceptions of, or is that the word? Of how we read these certain things. And I think Erica and I have like definitely a different perspective as far as...
But I do find it interesting that you both loved it so much, because that tells me that you might be into magical realism.
I think I'm into magical realism.
Oh,
I think this
I am
is
too.
like,
isn't that what Harry Potter is?
No, that's fantasy.
Oh,
Magical realism is like what this is, which is like
urban fan.
a weird aspect that's not true to our world, but we're still in a contemporary setting.
I do like that a lot. Is that what the typewriter one was? Or is
that could be considered like
fantasy?
No, that's historical fantasy.
Historical fantasy.
Fair.
No, but like what was the weird one? The hike.
Oh, the hike.
Like that's magical realism.
Magical realism.
I do really like that, I will say.
So like I think that's if I'm not reading a romance, if I'm not reading romance fantasy, I think it has to be this type of book.
And this felt like a romance to me.
I didn't feel like a romance to me.
It did to me.
I don't think it's a romance. I think it portrayed different kinds of love. Platonic love, romantic love, familial love. Like you're able to see all those parts of it within the book, which I thought was nice to see. But I don't think it's a romance.
I like something that like bends your mind. You know what I mean? Like I felt like this book like took what you knew about life and then kind of just like bent it like in half, and you're like, wait a minute, if this really like I feel like it's like what we talk about sometimes, where it's like, what if this
Yeah,
like happened?
yeah,
And like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's just like a.
Yeah.
You
it's
two are
like
very
it's like
what if
when you're
people.
Oh, yeah.
stoned in a room with your friends, being like, what if we turned into sharks?
I
Like
love that
you know what I
shit.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like a funny like token like smoke session.
If I was a worm, would you still love me?
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Like it's like that. It like just spins it on your head a little bit, and I found that to be very like refreshing. I guess.
Should we do 60 seconds so we can talk further into it?
I ain't doing it.
I'll do
I'll do
it. Oh,
I'll do it. I'll do it because I feel bad that you did all of them that one time and then you did all of them one time and I'm not doing all
You're
of them.
doing all of them today.
I can't.
Yes.
No, I can't.
No, you are.
But I
Why?
can't.
Yeah, you
Why?
are. Thank you for
Because I
volunteering.
don't remember everything.
Neither did
Okay.
I. Thank you for volunteering.
I'll do Shark Heart. I
She's doing
feel
all of
good
them.
about.
Thank
I
you
feel
for
good
your
about.
service.
You're
I
doing
actually remember their
all
names
of
too.
them.
So there's only like read three books. It's
You're
fine.
doing all of them.
And the other ones, actually, not. Yeah, I'll do them all.
You're doing all of them.
Sure. I don't remember any of the names.
one of the
other
books is 80 pages.
I know.
Yeah,
You're right.
you
You're
had
right.
the easiest
Fine,
one
I'll
to do all of them
I'll
for.
I'll do them all. You have to set a timer though, and that's like the worst job. I've been putting that on my back.
Okay.
Just fucking carrying the team.
Sometimes I just want to backhand.
I know. I wish you would.
Okay.
I wish
I
someone
think it'd
would.
be good for all of us. Also, Erica's about to give birth in like 2
Dude,
weeks.
Erica's 2 weeks away. So
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
seeing this, I don't know. Well, this will come out soon. This will come out next week. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
weeks from now that you're having a baby.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My C-section is scheduled for December 4th. So whenever you see this episode of 2024, hopefully.
Baby Star is
Good-
coming.
Yeah, very good. 2024, not next year, obviously.
Well, no, like some people.
People watch things years later.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like
She's
I'm
time
I don't know,
stamping this.
Sometimes
I got you.
people like
We get new listeners all the
Yeah.
time.
Fair.
they go back and then they
All right,
listen.
they do.
and-
Here we go. If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, I guess I'm doing all of them.
guess. Yeah.
But I'm doing Shark Heart, a love story. So here we go. Let me know. Count me in.
3, 2, 1.
Lewis and Ren are in love, and we just found we're in a world where like people can become animals. Just keep that in the your back pocket. Lewis found out that he is an adrenodominist and basically he's turning into a great white shark. He's literally becoming a great white shark. So we are navigating this relationship between Lewis and Ren, who are in love. Ren needs to come to her senses and realize that she's losing the love of her life to the ocean. And at the same time, we hear a little bit of her backstory with her mom, who became a fucking lizard, wild.
Komodo dragon.
And she becomes friends with a little pregnant lady who ends up giving birth to these 2 baby birds, which kill her. So a lot is happening as far as people becoming animals. And really, the entire book is just navigating this relationship between Lewis and Ren and figuring out what it's like, I imagine, to watch your loved one leave you and die, and there's nothing you can really do about it, and it's really sad. And in the end, he becomes a shark, and she has to carry on with her life, and she ends up getting pregnant before he leaves, and she gives birth to a baby girl, and that's the end.
You did
I
great.
did not. I did not understand the pregnancy part because it was like I felt like they.
How?
Well, no, I just felt like they didn't have sex before. Like
They just didn't show it.
No, she was. They were
snuggling
still,
up in the
they were still
bathtub.
a couple. They just
I
weren't
know, but like
actively
the
trying.
I guess the timing I didn't really understand.
I mean, I saw it coming.
I thought didn't she fuck the truck driver? Like shortly after she
She did.
Remember when she like left him?
No, they didn't
She
fuck.
did.
They
Oh,
didn't
they didn't
fuck. They
have
just
sex?
cuddled.
I thought they did.
No, they didn't fuck. They were like talking about life and stuff, and he was talking about his ex.
I thought he was gonna kill her.
No, I think they were just like, it was the whole point of that was just like
Oh.
2 strangers passing in the night who both had like their relationship issues. And I know they like kind of like snuggled up next to each other, but I don't think they fucked.
I really thought that he was
Oh.
gonna kill her because I've been seeing a lot of like stories about like how
That
you
would have been
should.
an insane twist.
I know, but
How do you fit that
I've
in
just
there?
been seeing so many stories about like women or like issues with truck stops.
I hear
and, like,
you, but you
people
really
dying.
thought in this cute Shark Heart story that all of a sudden she just gets murdered and you're like, okay, where do we go from here?
Yeah,
That's a wild
that's where I
assumption.
thought it was going.
Okay.
Okay, Lewis and Ren. So my favorite thing about this book was I thought the characters were really good, and I loved their relationship. I thought it was really adorable and realistic, and I couldn't, Erica, I know you feel the same way, but like the reason I got so emotional when I first started listening to this, I was in the airport and I was definitely tearing up. I'm not gonna lie, I did cry a few times listening to this book, but like you can't help but picture
Put yourself in that. Like, what would you do if your husband or your wife was turning into a great white shark. Like it's such a slow like progression.
It's so sad.
And like I think this is what the smoking thing, right? Like you put yourself in that scenario and you start talking about it and you're like, this is so fucked up if this happened. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's like what pulls on people's heartstrings in this book is like,
but it's like, you can't do, I think it's the feeling of hopelessness of saying like, okay, this person is still in this universe and I can't be with them. Yeah. I think that's what's heartbreaking.
The mom thing was like, how'd you feel about the mom one? Like,
the mom one hit me more because to me, what I see this being as, it sort of reminds me of a form of cancer.
Yeah. Or like dementia.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was feeling.
I related more to the mother side of it and seeing her go through that than I did with her and her husband. Because again, I don't have a partner, so I don't have that feeling.
Right.
But I do have a mom who did have cancer.
Right.
So I was like, I always think about that.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
I can see that.
The one thing that made me laugh out loud was when she was talking about her mom and she was like, you can't eat fucking people's like pets. Like you ate a golden retriever. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean she ate a
I thought of Kristen. I was like, Kristen's not going to be happy about this golden retriever being killed.
What would you want to turn into though?
Want to turn into?
That's a good question.
No, I mean, like if you had to pick, and let's assume they're prey animals.
I don't.
They have to be prey animals because the two that they turned it. Actually, birds. Those are carnivores.
I want to be a herbivore.
Well, you can't be.
I want to be a sloth. You would want to be
Erica's. Erica's always like sloths.
No, you have to. No, I'm making the rules. It has to be a fucking prey animal.
Fucked up.
Why?
I guess a cat. Then I'd want to be like a tiger or something.
A panther.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I feel like it would be better to be like
a bird. Would be sweet.
You could fly everywhere.
Suck. Birds suck.
I would be able to. I don't like birds either, but being a bird would be fucking sick. You can't even deny you would want to fly
Maybe if you
everywhere.
were a bald eagle.
That's what I was thinking in my head.
Caw!
Yeah.
You'd have to be an apex predator.
Apex predator. That would be me.
Being a shark
Mean Girls 2024.
has to be the worst one.
No. Yeah, you gotta eat seals.
But like, okay, what really made me fucking laugh, right? Like
oh my God,
Ren releases him into like the wild because he's like turned way too much, and now he has to like. She built a fucking pool in the backyard. Like I was like, yeah, I would do all of these things, right?
Same.
But she finally releases him into the ocean, and he's like happy and whatever, and then he swims off, tells her to go live her life. That's one thing that I think I would have changed is like I would have probably like set like if you remember me and you want me like I'll come here every third Wednesday.
But he won't know the
like,
date. He won't know dates anymore.
No, but I know. But I'm like I feel like I would try to have like okay, if it's you spin in a circle 5 times, like some type of secret.
That's the thing that bothered me about the book
was
that I didn't think he was still going to have human consciousness. I
didn't either.
I didn't like that.
I don't think he did either. Nobody knows because they can't.
Right.
Those animals can't talk.
That's a good point. So her original plan was the one that I was like, if Mike was going to become a great white shark and I knew I was going to be losing him, I would bring him to the ocean 100% houseboat. I'm fucking following you. We are staying together.
I'm putting a tracker on you.
Yeah, we're staying together, buddy.
I'm putting a shark
why don't you
tracker.
put a tracker on? There's shark trackers all the sharks everywhere.
Oh yeah,
we know where every shark is
He's
right
not
now.
fucking going anywhere, dude.
Yeah,
we're staying together whether you like it or not. I'll ride your fin. If you're gonna eat me, you're gonna fucking eat me. It is what it is. But you're not going anywhere, buddy.
I would at least do like a couple of like there was a little bit, but again, you're extending your imagination here. But when he meets the other girl,
oh my God!
So the other girl, what's her name?
Margaret.
Margaret.
Yeah. And she likes being called her full name Simmons.
Sounds like the most annoying girl that you've ever met.
Because she turned into a shark when she was young.
13.
Yeah.
Turns into a shark when she's 13, so she's still in this like very
She never got to grow up.
pre like teenage like idea, and she's in love with Lewis.
What did you think about the way the audio sounded with them speaking it?
Oh, it was so funny.
I
thought it was so funny.
All I thought was Dory.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was so funny. I thought it was
it.
so fucking hilarious.
But then when he was like, I see you like a brother, and she's like, she said, I see you like a brother, and he's like, I see you as a sister. I also teared up at that part when they became family.
It was
you
so
funny. You were away. Like you were reading right around your period.
It was so fucking
I teared up
funny.
a lot.
You were tearing up.
That she was like, I love you.
Do you love me?
And he's like, I have a fucking wife, girl. Like, and she's like, okay, be alone then. And like swims off.
I hope you die.
I was like, this is
But that's such a
how
shark.
many times you read dialogue where you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why are these people saying that dialogue was like so real.
Well, if you think about it, it was written a lot like it was a play.
Oh
Yeah.
There's
A lot of
there's
portions, like,
moments
play
too.
moments.
There's intervals of like little moments that are set up as a play where they're like scene this, and then it's like Margaret blah blah blah, and then it goes back into like the regular book. And I thought that was cool because Lewis is a playwright. So I thought that was really neat and like a fun.
I like
spin.
that it didn't like over explain itself too. Like it felt like
Yes.
it was like letting you fill in the gaps of stuff and like
I thought the writing was beautiful.
I thought the writing
It was
really
wonderful.
cool.
I thought
Yeah.
that a lot of the, I don't want, punch is not the right way I would say, but punching. Like it just punched a lot with the
Yeah.
dialogue. It was very like, a lot of things were repetitious, but not in the annoying way.
Yeah.
Like how people get mad at Sarah J. Maas when she does at least in Silver Flames, where everything was repeated over and over and over again.
Right.
A lot of things were repeated, but not in like a annoying way. Like I'm just
One thing that bothered me was she was like, I'm going to learn how to scuba dive and like be near my shark husband. And she goes to a lake and just has like random scuba diving gear. You cannot teach yourself how to scuba dive. You will die. And I'm just sitting here like, girl, the bends, you're going to literally kill you. Like you can't teach yourself. And then finally,
But also, weren't they
he was
landlocked?
like-
They're in Texas. So
she was in a lake doing it. And then finally he was like, did you try to teach yourself how? He was like, you didn't take a class? You're not certified? And she was like, no. And she's like trying to go in the ocean. I'm like, that was
so dumb.
crazy.
That was
So
so
it's
dumb.
desperation, you know. She's
I hear
Tyler's
you,
running
like,
out.
take a class.
I know, take a fucking class.
You're
you can literally
swimming.
do it in a pool.
She started swimming all the time. I'm like, why?
That was later though.
I actually really liked that too. The pregnant woman. I liked that little like side story. I liked all the characters. I thought they were
they were
really
going to
good.
be a couple
Really?
Her
Yeah.
and the bird lady.
Oh.
because it kind of coincided with the Rachel telling. Like they were talking about Ren with Rachel at one point.
Oh yeah, I forgot
was
about
it Ren
that.
and Rachel, right?
Yeah.
So she had
gave
her
him a-
teacher and her were like a thing when she was younger. So I was like, oh, maybe this tiny pregnant lady is going to be her future partner when Lewis is no longer around.
Right.
But then she passed. I'm like, damn, you lose everyone to this thing.
I know.
Well, that was
That's
what's
sad.
so crazy is like you think about like all these people in your life. Like that's what I thought at the end. I was like, and then okay, the ending is like she has her daughter, and you see like the stages of this girl growing up and whatever.
Yeah. Do you think the daughter's the shark?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because she goes
I
to
think-
swim in the ocean and she
So like the
turns
last scene is
Yeah.
like the girl like swimming and playing in the water, and she like goes and she like dives in, and she's like, look at how like good I can do it, and I'm like, she's a shark.
But
that
also it
fucked?
skips generations. So I was wondering genetically
Oh,
if
it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
that's
don't
why
know if
that's
I'm- I don't-
at one
I
point
didn't
it said
catch
it
that.
skips normally
missed
skips
that.
generations.
Yeah.
So Angela had it, right? Her mom, but not Ren.
Oh.
So Ren gets with someone who has it and has a child.
So she could be.
So it could be
50-50.
50-50.
She could be 50-50. with
And they really, it
genetics.
seemed like it wanted to be up for
And I think that's
interpretation.
why she was trying to
I
hold
think
on
that's why
so
they
much. I
did
think
it,
it was
yeah.
that whole feeling of like, it could happen, it couldn't. But do I live my life in fear that maybe it could, or do I let her live her life as she should and just, let my kid fly? And sort
Right.
of she at the end decided to let her kid just grow up normal and just we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, essentially.
The thing that, like, I think the reason I gave it 4.5 and not 5 stars was because I do think the switch from her story to her mom's story was like, so we're halfway through the book when she sets Ren free, and I'm like, whoa, okay, is this
Lewis,
the story
yeah.
Lewis free? And I'm like, oh, the story's over. Like, I got
Yeah,
what
it was
I
like,
got
what's
what
going
I
on?
needed.
Yep.
Like, this is why I'm here. And then we started going into the mom story, and I'm not gonna lie, like listening to it, I'm on the train. All of a sudden, I'm like thinking about work and like all these other things, and I blacked out maybe like a part of that, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't know if
It
I
was a
needed
little
this
boring.
story. Yeah, I didn't know if I needed that story.
I think the book was well written. I think the story premise was really cool, but the way it was laid out for me didn't work well.
They could have like
bouncing
intermittently
around.
put that.
I wish it was
Yeah.
like
The
It was like
balancing
two different
between
stories.
time, the balance between characters in a way that just didn't make sense. Like if you were doing it from the beginning with Angela,
Yeah.
because for so long in the beginning of the book, we don't know what happened to Angela. We just know that she has a tough
Angela's her
issue
mom.
with her mother,
Yeah.
with Ren's mother. So I'm like, okay, then what did Ren's mother do? And I'm thinking, is she an addict? Did she abuse her?
I got
Right.
addict vibes.
I got addict vibes. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? And then you find out once we get to Angela's section that like, no, she just turned to a Komodo freaking dragon. And I'm like,
Which is so sad.
Why didn't she say that?
And the mom was like
earlier?
so
Yeah.
good too, and I was expecting
mom-
her to be a piece of shit.
I felt so bad for
It
what
was
her
a
mom
weird.
went
It
through.
was definitely strange.
Especially her mom had birth when she was like 15.
I think I would fucking
Or
hate
gave
being a Komodo dragon though.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I hate.
Oh, you didn't
I hate
say
lizards.
what yours would be.
I feel like I would want to be like a wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf is nice,
I mean,
but they're always
wouldn't you be cold?
In the cold,
I literally think cold
I
immediately.
just think of like
being in the snow and
the
like
snow
being
mountains.
like.
I'm like,
Yeah.
They're furry.
What would you be?
I don't know. I said panther. I've always loved panthers.
But then
That'd
you
be
gotta live in like
the jungle.
the jungle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick. A tarantula, maybe?
I'd be living the Jungle Book.
I don't know about that.
I don't know what I'd
No,
want to be.
tarantulas too small.
But I'm thinking about like, okay, John can still like have me in his house.
Okay, a worm.
The worm would
Snake.
be a snake. Reptiles in general are like hard out.
But you said a wolf. Like he's not gonna have a wolf in his
Why
house.
not?
Don't have wolves.
No, because
They
you're gonna
shouldn't.
be like wolves are aggressive. He would have to
That's
like
another problem,
domesticate
too.
a
They
wolf
get-
from the
I-
beginning.
But
get
that's the
aggressive.
question: is like, am I gonna
Yes.
be fully?
Yeah, you're gonna be. He got
But I could
crazy.
still come to the house.
Potentially.
Backyard barbecue.
Nobody's gonna want to be around you if you're a wolf. Wouldn't you want to be
don't
something
know.
cute? You don't know.
Sometimes wolves are nice.
When have you encountered a nice wolf?
There's the sanctuary.
Yeah, because they're raised as.
Not always.
No, they're rescued.
You think that if you were
Yeah.
in the wild, let's just paint this scenario. You think if you were in the mountains, right, and you came across a wolf, you'd be like, I could pet that. You think so? You fucking think so, Erica? Because I love
would
this.
be less scared of a wolf than I would be a panther.
I agree with that, but I also wouldn't go near a fucking wolf. It's a wild dog. Coyotes are bad enough.
You know what my second choice would be?
No, don't even. You don't know.
Panda.
A panda would be sweet, but they're herbivores.
Yeah. Oh, we have to be carnivores.
said-
Her
I said
stupid ass
prey.
rule.
Prey animal only.
Then a bear.
Oh,
I get to
a
hibernate for a
bear
long
would
time.
be sick.
Bears go in pools.
A bear would be sick.
What does
does
that
that have to do
mean?
with anything?
But like they're chill.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
they
what
go
was
in
that?
pool?
Where did that come from?
Don't you see the videos of bears in pools?
Yeah,
Yeah, we know bears go in pools, but what do they have to do with any of this conversation?
I just
the way
feel
you
like-
said it was as if I said bears don't go in pools.
Yeah,
Like,
what?
bears go in pools.
Sick fact, Erica.
Because they like to be around.
yeah.
Yeah, bears
So
are
are you
cute.
saying you would have a pool?
I'm just picturing me as an animal in a barbecue setting.
okay.
And I could be in a pool. As a bear, I could be in a pool.
okay. I can't.
You know what else goes in pools?
No, I don't.
Tigers.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Not there. Where's the pool in Africa?
Watering
the water?
holes.
Yeah,
That's
what do
not
you
a
mean?
watering
lakes and
No.
stuff. Yes, they
no,
do.
I'm talking about a real fucking
Yeah, the ones in
backyard
sanctuaries
pool.
go in backyard
But those are
pools.
made
And
pools
then
for
what do you
water.
want John to make for you?
I'm talking about like a backyard scenario where
Okay,
there's
so
an
where's the
otter.
pool in the
A
back?
fucking otter.
Otters are cute.
Otters are not prey drive.
Don't they eat?
They eat They're carnivores,
Aren't they? Fish? They eat fish.
They eat fish. They
Is
grab
that
them
re-
with
is
tummies
that
and
really-
smack 'em.
They literally sit on their backs and eat fish.
just relax.
They eat salmon.
They're literally doing a
Actually, John wouldn't want to fuck with an otter either. They could like bite your nipples off.
Oh,
Ma'am?
they are predators.
I know.
yeah. I know.
Sea otters, though.
So any
Yeah.
otter is going to eat fish to survive.
Oh, wait. Within the nearshore community, but higher tropic level avian, terrestrial, and pelagic predators. So bald eagles, brown bears, wolves, sharks, and killer whales. Wow, that's kind of like the trifecta. Prey on them.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely getting preyed
orcas.
on.
The
but
orcas go for the
You're like in the middle of the
Yeah,
chain,
yeah.
not at the top. Not even
I'm
near.
thinking like apex predators.
Oh, I would want to be like maybe more.
If the
Would you
ice
wanna
caps
be
were
a
melted, I'd be a
shark?
polar bear.
I wouldn't want to be a shark.
Would you want to be a shark
No, you live so
or
long.
a Komodo dragon?
Maybe a monkey. That would be sick. Imagine like swinging around.
So the only benefit of the shark, in my opinion, is like you're an apex predator
There's
in
no
the ocean,
fucking
right?
benefit.
No, but think about how deep in the ocean they go.
I know, but you're just getting fucked up by fucking killer whales. Like, he was all fucked up all the time. You have to eat seals.
No, it's because he ate the baby.
I know, he ate the baby. He was stupid.
There's a lot of, like,
I know,
things.
but, like, think...
And, like, you can't... You're all the time... Like, you're just constantly
Swimming,
swimming and, like, not... You don't get to rest. You know what I mean? Like,
There's something very unsettling about great white sharks to me.
yeah.
And I think that's
You know
why
what
people
Mike
love
said?
Shark Week.
I asked Mike what he would do if he became a great white shark. And I was like, what would be the worst part about it? He was like, I'd have to brush so many teeth. And I was like, that's your concern.
He wouldn't be brushing anything.
You're not brushing teeth.
Well, when he's becoming the shark.
Do you think there's still megalodons out there?
Yeah.
You've always come back to this. I think. Sure.
Yeah. Isn't there like the ocean is the one place? So like, you know how we always have this argument about Bigfoot, and I'm like, no, we would have found him. The ocean
has
like,
everything.
I mean, no, like all bets are off. You can tell me that there's a fucking
the deep ocean.
The deep ocean.
You can tell me that's where the aliens are, and I would absolutely believe you.
I believe you.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
believe you. They're down there.
Yeah, there's stuff in even the Mariana Trench.
I was going to say the Mariana Trench.
I mean, we're
I'm
talking
telling
about
you.
stuff that we don't even.
There's no doubt in my mind. There's something down there that's crazy that we
When
haven't.
do you think the
discovered.
science will be far enough for us to get down there?
When we're dead.
It's kind of crazy that we haven't gotten there yet. I think.
What are they hiding from us?
Oh,
No,
there's
I just think
there
there's not
are
enough money in
No,
research.
there are definitely.
I don't think there's enough money.
Whistleblowers have come out, if you look it up on Reddit, to say that. Am I gonna get shot for saying this?
Am I gonna get shot for saying?
Whistleblowers have said that there's like UFO like facilities underwater, like of us, that we have missiles to shoot from under. It's like,
Oh, we definitely have missiles underwater.
Yeah.
UFO though.
but that's related to like UFOs and stuff.
We definitely.
I'll send you the thing.
There's definitely.
I'll send you the thing.
like government hotspots because you have to like we have one of the best navies in the world.
Yeah,
You have to be able to like fucking
right.
come from below.
We have to be able to hit them from every angle.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it makes sense that we would have like like situations under the water, but I'm talking about like deep ocean. I'm talking about like
I know,
Like, my question is, if the submarines can get pretty low,
but not
like,
even
why
near.
haven't we like discovered more things?
I just don't think
like
we're
there's
able
not
to.
a ton of. I mean, there are.
Because
Like,
they want to
okay,
explore space.
Think
for
about
whatever
like
reason.
the Titanic, right? Like that's
Yeah.
like not even close to the bottom of the
I know,
ocean, right?
I
like
know.
we're
And you
talking
see what
about
happened
like,
when people went there.
well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, how low can we go?
How low can you go?
go?
How low? Okay, Shark Heart. What else do we want to say about this love story?
I cried.
I
did
cried.
cry. I did cry.
I teared up towards the end with the motherhood thing, but
Oh, I bawled my eyes out.
I cried when she kept saying
his name.
No, she was like, keep saying my name,
Yeah.
keep saying my name.
Same.
And that really got me. Again, on audio, I don't know if I would have cried if I read it.
I was doing both.
Also,
Physical
the
and audio.
feeling. I felt the feeling of like. I don't know, just
Of
picturing
loss.
her on the beach and he swims away and then you're like utterly alone. I think
I was a little confused how much of him had transformed.
I was
By
picturing
then, I think
most.
he had maybe like
yeah.
a couple fingers left.
But like,
Like,
do you often think about that though?
It doesn't look good. Does
Do
not
you
look
think
good.
about that a lot though? Like, what
What?
would you do if like
John-
suddenly they
yeah.
weren't with it? Like, I don't know.
it's like
how-
my biggest fear
Same.
on this earth is
literally
people
same.
dying.
And like starting all. Oh my god.
Everyone dying. Everyone
Yeah.
in my life dying is just
Yeah.
like existential dread all of the time. I'd say like 99.9% of all of my anxiety is
Same.
like my immediate family getting sick and dying.
Literally same. I feel like I've lost a lot of people too, and it's like now it's just like you expect it almost. You're like, oh, okay, it's gonna happen. Like,
Well, that was another reason I had to get off TikTok is because I kept seeing all these stories about like people's kids dying or like their husbands dying.
that's
Like
brutal.
it was just this onslaught, and I found myself like keep watching these videos, and then I get more of them, and it's like
Yeah.
I needed to just like even now like
That did happen to me too. I was getting a lot of depressing shit when I was on TikTok, and I
I'm
was
glad
like,
you got off.
whatever you're trying to do to me, I hate it. So I got
It's-
rid of it.
I do
It's
think that you
so
made a good
bad.
point, though. I think this is a representation of something bigger, which I think, like, I didn't even consider what you guys were saying with like
a dementia
That
thing?
makes so much sense to me. Like, I was
it
thinking
seemed
year
like an
round
allegory
cancer.
to me.
Yeah, it
of,
felt
like-
like
It's allegory of a lot of things. It
like
could be-
out of your
of
control.
loss.
Like you're losing somebody
Yeah.
and it's out of your control, and there's nothing you can do.
yeah.
Of a
But
loss.
even also like that feeling of like they're here but they're not here. Which
And also, I feel like
dementia.
something that
Yeah.
not is, I don't feel like it's covered a lot or talked about a lot is what a caregiver goes through
yeah
with someone who's going going through their last stages of
That's
life.
a really great point,
They
too.
go through so much. They have so much on their shoulders, and they don't have a reprieve ever because they are living for somebody
They
else.
actually
job and
say
stuff,
with dementia, I only know this because my grandmother is going through it right now, that like the caregiver of the person that has dementia actually has a lower life expectancy than the person with dementia because of how much energy and like physical labor and emotional labor it takes to take care of somebody like that.
And that's why a lot of people
who the caregivers often die before the dementia patients.
Yeah. And that's why I always say, like, we need to give people more grace when, like, people are putting people in homes or, like, trying to go to get, and, like, I think there's some people do it as, like, to be like, I'm done with this burden. I think that's terrible. But people who are, like, truly there for their person and, like, is like, I can, to admit that you need help, I think is okay and strong and, like, something we should all do more of. But, like, I feel like people get so much shit online when they're like, oh, visiting, you know, my so-and-so in this facility.
People get shut on for anything.
And it's like, you don't know their story.
My grandmother's at a facility in Massachusetts somewhere for dementia. She's in a memory care unit. And the amount of effort and time that my mom takes to take care of her, even though they are taking care of her, is astronomical.
Right.
It's a full-time job.
Right.
And it's outside. Like, they are taking care of my grandmother 24/7.
Is that
my
your
mom
mom's
is
mom?
still, my mom is still doing all of the medical stuff, all of this, all of that. And I ask her every single time, I'm like, what happens if somebody doesn't have you?
Right. Right.
And
I think about
like,
that all the time.
She's like, they go to a social worker or like whatever, you know what I mean?
That's
I'm
so
like,
sad.
my mom sold this her house, and like, I'm like, what happens if you don't have people in your life like that?
I think about that a lot.
So funny story. My mom's very chatty. She's like a very social person.
No.
And she talks to anybody, and she's
like
talking. Yeah, she's very friendly with the staff there, and she's talking to, I think, somebody. I don't know where she works, at what part of the building she works. Talking to somebody, they're talking about podcasting. She's like, "Oh, my daughter has a podcast," and she's like, "Oh, like what podcast? What's it called?"
That's so funny.
Like just like, you know, light small talk type conversation.
It's wild to me.
My mom's like, "Oh, the podcast, you wouldn't know it, but it's called Books and, called Books and Betches." And she's like, "You're fucking kidding me." Like, one
I
of
can
my
only imagine the Massachusetts accent.
Yeah.
one of my favorite podcasts.
There's
one
no
of my
way.
top
Stop
three favorite
it.
podcasts. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And Amanda
You're
told
over here now.
Hi, Amanda.
Amanda told another girl, another woman at the facility to like listen to us.
Oh,
And
you're hired.
So now Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Can you tell more people, please? Thank
But
you.
isn't that like such a weird thing? Like, we're obviously like in Connecticut, New York area, and that's all the way in Massachusetts. Like,
Right.
We're talking about
New
like
England's
over
strong.
3 hours away. Like, just a
New York's not
random
New England.
experience.
But also,
I
like,
don't know,
remember
like-
the murder mystery we went to?
Yeah.
So we went to a murder mystery in
this
New York
too.
back like before, what was it? September, October? I don't even know what
September,
time it is.
September.
Right now.
Yeah.
And one of the actresses in the murder mystery was like, "Oh, I recognize your voices because I listen to you guys like almost every weekend." Because I was like, "No, you do not. You're lying to my face."
It's
Yeah,
wild.
one of the actresses is a fan of the podcast. And it's
Wild.
like, it's crazy. I mean, we're not like that big. We do get a good
I don't
amount of
feel
listeners.
big.
No.
Like, we have... I'll give us our stats. We have about 10,000 listeners a month. It's a pretty decent size. Like,
I'm grateful for
following.
every one of you.
I'm very grateful for every single person that listens to us. Like, we're in that like middle ground, but like we're Joe Rogan and like, you know, we're talking about 10 million listeners. You know what I
14.
mean? Like,
I mean, hey, if we could quit our jobs and just
we're
do this.
probably, I think we're like probably in the top 10% of podcasting,
Yeah. Top
which is
10.
crazy.
No way.
Yes.
That's
No
like the
way.
top.
Yes.
1,000.
No, I'm telling
That's
you.
not
top
possible.
There's so many
10%.
podcasts.
There's so
Yeah,
many
there's
podcasts.
so many podcasts that nobody listens to.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know if I believe that, but
I've looked at all of the numbers.
It's because they don't have a harmonica.
they're losing that. Like, they need that.
Once you're in that like
Once you
tier,
have a harmonica
Life changes.
or an Erica on Instagram.
yeah.
All right, we've swam far away from Shark Heart. Is there anything else you want to say
You're so
about?
good.
Thank you so much.
You're so. It's like
I could do this
it's
for
like
a
you,
living.
Like, do this for a living.
Anything else you want to say about Shark Heart though before we wrap this episode up?
I think it's sweet.
I just think that I would be so mad if I turned into a shark.
Okay, and
Right.
that you heard it here first. If Erica turned into a shark, she'd be mad, even though you could still go in a pool.
What would you be mad at if you turned into it?
What would I be mad if I turned
Yeah.
into?
A bird. Oh my god, I'd be so mad if I was a
No,
bird.
you wouldn't. You'd be flying all over the
Fucking
place. You'd be
I
so
hate
happy.
birds.
That doesn't mean you would not enjoy the privileges of being a bird. Like bird privilege is real. And Big Bird doesn't want you to know about it.
Big Bird is
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Dude, they shit everywhere.
Exactly. It's the government. Thank you so much for being here.
I just saw a video about a guy being like, "You never see baby pigeon."
It's so funny.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, if you want to follow us on Instagram, just look up books_and_Betches, BETCHES. If you want to go to our YouTube, please subscribe. I feel like we haven't had as many viewers lately. We got to get the viewership up on the YouTube.
We got to get on a consistent schedule to record.
Yeah, well.
On the YouTube.
No, that probably won't happen. But we love you all so much. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.